it, as I see it, class warfare, the only resort to right wing doom. It's worth it. How to talk to your right wing relatives, friends, and neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the entire United States. Good morning to the entire world. Thank you so kindly for being here, folks. We get to you via the magic of El Internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by whom? Created by we the people. We the people, now controlled by they, the billionaires. Something that must change, something we must change. And you know what? We're reaching the magical number. We're reaching the magical number, and it will happen, folks. Anyhow, without further ado, let's go ahead and send it to the geniuses in El Estudio, El Señor Jack Van Beber and Mayena.
Hello, good morning. I'm doing okay. How are you?
I am doing great. I am doing fine. I intend to do great in a few years when we take this thing back over.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're with you.
I know. What's up, guys?
Well, I'm going to read your introduction today. America stands at the edge of transformation. From the streets of Kingwood to the factory floors of the Midwest, ordinary people are awakening to their collective power. Protest movements like No Kings are nearing the 3.5% tipping point that historically ignites social revolution. Meanwhile, the so-called anti-woke economic crusade has backfired, devastating jobs and fueling inflation that punishes working families. And in Maine, a populist insurgent named Graham Platner is shaking the Democratic establishment by centering real issues: healthcare, inequality, and taxing the rich. Together, these stories signal that the people are stirring and the system is starting to panic. Ooh, nice Halloween story.
Yeah, the system is starting to panic, It's amazing. And look, we got a lot of work to do because earlier today also, Mayana turned me on to a piece from Roland Martin that as one of the reasons I accidentally muted coming on is because I was so enthralled into that piece. And that, I don't know, that Mayana is scarier than anything else. We expected that to be done by people outside of government, but for government to do it, and we'll talk about that a little later as well, folks. But that is some serious stuff. Anyway, folks, we are still. Go ahead, Mayana. Were you going to say something?
No, I said, no, yeah, it's big. It really shocked me. And I felt really, worried for the young man.
And we shouldn't only be worried for the young man. We need to be worried for the whole America, because they were using, believe it or not, that those are the building blocks of which to say why they want to give when they try to declare martial law and then they're taken to court. Those are things of evidence that they would try to bring into court to say this is why we need protection because X, Y. This is when you go down the pathway that what they did is taking you, and then to deny that they did it initially.
Yeah, that's what really shocked me. It's like they doubled down on it, even though they had the evidence. They showed them the evidence, and other people are seeing it, and they still just said, "Yeah," as if it's true. That's a lot.
Yeah, we have to explore that in detail. Let me tell you what was, I do my mainstream media look throughout the day, and I hadn't seen that story, and I didn't, I actually just get clips of Roland Martin, and I hadn't seen that one yet. But that is some serious stuff, Mayana. But anyhow, anything else you have to say, Jack?
Jack is good. We just
Jack
want to hear
is
from you now.
all right. Jack is good. All right. Well, let me tell you, folks, we are still in Fund Drive, and we have a full show for you, and we have a lot to talk about. Please remember to call 713-526-5738 to contribute whatever you can. We're hoping to get more people on what we call sustainers. That is $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can do a month, because it gives our management some predictability in how they can get the resources for the different things necessary for a station like ours, which really operates on a shoestring budget. Yours truly hates coming every day into Fund Drive. I personally, I hate it because it takes away probably 15-20% of the time that we could use to do other things, more phone calls, etc. But it's something we must do. So I'm going to throw it to Sandy for first pitch of the day. Then we'll get into some real serious political business, and we'll do the best we can. But for right now, as Sandy speaks, I am sure many of you can start us off and give us our first donation for the show at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, select the donate button, choose what you want, and remember to select Politics Done Right as the program you're supporting. By the way, Coffee with Egberto for $250 is still available, and I love meeting you guys, which I've done many, many, many times. So look, guys, I just went on one of the coffees with Egberto a couple of weeks ago with a young lady who is working for the government, but is currently on hiatus or whatever, on furlough, whatever that is called, because of the government shutdown. So she used a bit of her time to come out and have coffee with me. It's worth it. Anyway, let's throw it to Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto, and thanks everybody for listening this morning, and hopefully for coming on board with us on our Fall Fund Drive. Good news, KPFT listeners, we have eclipsed the 50% mark on our drive. That's right, we're over halfway to the goal, and we are $20 shy of $90,100, or 90.1. This morning, we're looking for $500 to add to that already collected total, and this money is going to go toward paying the bills through the month of February, where we will be back in Fund Drive, tanking back up again, topping off the bank account and making sure that community radio has the freedom to pay its bills and continue in Houston. And as we are talking about more and more, freedom of speech and the right to our airwaves is being attacked, for lack of a better word. I'm hoping that this audience this morning will allow the $500 goal to be fulfilled. We're looking for the first pledge of the morning, and again, $20 takes us to 90.1, Egberto, kind of a magic number.
The magic number.
Donation this drive. We have a long sleeve T-shirt. It's a beautiful T-shirt, butter color, designed by our own James Nagel, the Blues Hound, and it really does describe fall very nicely in a visual on this T-shirt. KPFT has been here 55 and a half years. This is our 56th Fall Fund Drive. And like that tree on that T-shirt that James drew, if we had T-shirts for every year, we'd have a virtual forest right now. We've been around a while. We intend to be here much longer to preserve free speech, to have these dialogues in Houston, and keep our airwaves with at least one oasis in this ginormous media desert here in Houston. Our number is 713-526-5738, option 1, or mouse it over to kpft.org and tap donate and do your part. $10 a month sustaining donation puts you in line for a restaurant gift card, as donated by 3 eateries around town, and we appreciate that. Full details may be found at kpft.org. Egberto.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome aboard. Udi Deemer. Welcome aboard from Deer Park. We also have Maz Maniac. Buenos dias, he says. Happy Friday, everyone. And our regular Harry Denson out of Missouri City, Texas. Zan says, thank you for your service. Well, we have a whole lot more service to give because this is something we have to get done. Sometimes people say, Berta, why do you call out people in the morning? You're using 3-4 minutes of total time to call people out. Because you want me to tell you something? This is community radio and you are a part of it. And I also want to thank you for being here. So welcome Lynette, Stephen, Rosenwalk, Adam W. Adam W, I think is out of, I forget. Look, I'm getting old, guys. I can't remember everything. Lynette is from Northeast Pennsylvania. Monique Daniel, Marge KJ. How you doing, Marge? Cheryl Elkin. I think Cheryl is from Massachusetts. If I screwed that up one more time, I'm going to have to slap myself. Natalie Lago, ¿cómo estás? Mary B, welcome aboard. And we have LBW, Profesora LBW. Teachers are the most important profession in the world. I will continue to repeat that till it forms a part of our psyche. There's something that happened in America that has taken teachers off the pedestals that they should be on. They are the ones that move education forward. They are the ones that move knowledge forward. And you know what? My daughter, after many tribulations from a change in career, became a teacher as well. And I can tell you, teachers are a very special people. Very, very special. We also have in the house, para ver. Oh, I got it right. Cheryl, I got it right. Lynette says, good morning, everyone. So many this morning. Glad to be with you as well here, sis, as well. Anyway, look, I want to start with anti-woke, what being anti-woke can do for you. For those of you who listened at 3 o'clock, this is the same video but cleaned up that I did on the 3 o'clock, but this is very important. I want you to listen to this and then we'll take it on the other side. I think I got it set up correctly. Let me make sure that I have all the maps in first. All these videos come on their own channels because we have to. Para ver, I need to make sure that I get it right. So as I'm setting up channels, folks, the telephone number is 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Extension 1 to donate. Extension 2 to speak. But we need you to kindly donate if you can right now. Here comes the video. Let's talk about the anti-woke vote, or the anti-woke tax is what I mean. The anti-woke tax. When we talk about people voting against their interests, one of the results of voting against your interests is, in fact, an anti-woke tax. How so? Well, let's go ahead and listen to what this piece from the MSNBC had to say. I think they did a great piece, and I want you to study what they had to say, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
It has been 9 months since President Trump took office with a promise to lower prices on day one. Instead, Americans have seen their household costs rise. As my next guest writes, Trumpist culture wars have made almost everything more expensive, effectively forcing all Americans to pay an anti-woke tax. Adam, what is the anti-woke tax?
Well, the anti-woke tax, I'm using that to refer to the way that the Trump administration defends inflationary economic policies by pointing to, or his defenders by pointing to culture war stuff. So the tariffs are very manly, and they're going to bring back manly jobs. And green energy is woke, so we're not going to spend any money on that. So, your energy prices are going to go up because we don't want to be woke. And this really sort of mirrors, a couple years ago when conservatives were complaining about, quote, woke capital, which isn't really a thing, and saying, well, we're going to sell anti-woke chocolate and beer. And it was more expensive, but, because it was anti-woke, conservatives felt better about buying it. And that's fine, except except that now, instead of just spending extra money to buy anti-woke stuff, they're making all of us spend more money because of inflationary economic policies that are justified by saying we're making the country less quote unquote woke, which, to be honest, even saying the word woke over and over again feels idiotic because they use it for so many things that nobody actually knows what it means anymore.
You talk about energy. What about food prices? Is it affecting food prices?
I mean, look, Trump is currently in the midst of trying to deport the workforce that, picks our food and gets it to supermarkets. And he's also trying to lower the wages of people who do that work, while at the same time saying, well, maybe we'll bring in even more exploited immigrant workers on visas that we can pay less than minimum wage. So, the reality is that people who benefit from this type of inflationary stuff, like, fossil fuel companies, they're making out great. But the rest of us have to go to the supermarket and pay extra for food that, is more expensive now because Donald Trump and his advisors think the country isn't as white as it should be.
Henrietta, does the analysis track?
It absolutely does. And I go a step further with today's examples alone. There's the most manly of enterprises out there farming, and they have been very distraught at exactly the same components that you're just speaking about. Immigration issues. Not only is it more expensive to hire their labor, but they've got to pay more for the fertilizer that they import, for the steel that goes in their Caterpillar backhoes, their John Deere production, their John Deere manufacturing equipment, all those pieces. But today, the cattle ranchers, the cattlemen of America, are furious at President Trump, so much so that they're now in a Twitter war with one another, going back and forth about the president's trade agenda and these woke policies or anti-woke policies that are now hurting the very base of U.S. agriculture, which is really astonishing to see.
There has to be an admission, though, that Americans voted for this. They voted for what Donald Trump is doing. And there are a lot of Americans who felt like it's such a nebulous thing, but the woke stuff, however they defined it, had gone too far, or they wanted more manufacturing here at home. They wanted to be able to buy American goods, to build things with their own hands. Henrietta, is there a balance you can achieve in bringing that stuff back and also maintaining a functional and healthy economy for everybody, not just the very rich?
The bringing stuff back point is such a good one. You can't re-domicile or repatriate manufacturing when you don't know what the tariff rate is going to be, when you don't have a labor supply, when you don't know what regulations are coming down the pike. And that's exactly what they've seen at car manufacturers, at kitchen appliance manufacturers, at John Deere, at Caterpillar. And that's why when we talk about now needing bailouts, it's for exactly those industries. When we do the farmer bailout that I expect will come and maybe even be a part of how we get the government reopened again, it's going to include an allowance for John Deere and Caterpillar and all those big, huge conglomerates that go into trying to bring you back to the United States. It's more expensive to do business in every single facet that you look at it. That's why there's so much uncertainty.
Adam, you read about those manufacturing jobs. Have we gained any?
No, we've lost manufacturing jobs. I mean, to the extent that, there have been a rise in wages at all, it's been in stuff like hospitality that are not generally portrayed by conservatives as manly. But, the thing about manufacturing is that supply chains are global. So there are a lot of people, I think, who supported Donald Trump's tariffs, on the mistaken belief that, well, I make all my stuff here, so, that'll be great for me, not realizing how much of their supply chain actually comes from abroad. So I think people walked into this in part because they were misled by a president who they trusted to give them accurate information, who has never actually been willing to do that. And I hope people learn their lesson from that.
I hope people learn their lessons from that. In other words, that anti-woke tax. In other words, that we lost 70,000 jobs the last time that he put out a tariffs, that we're doing the same thing now. It's going to cost us more. That extra cost is in fact a tax that the farmers are needing bodies that they don't have to pick their crops. Which means the crop prices are going to be higher. That's an anti-woke tax that the employees at plants, etc., like what we had in Georgia, all those folks that got arrested because of the problems with their visas. And now that plant is going to be delayed, and which will cause price overruns, etc. That's an anti-woke tax. I mean, you think about all these things that the what you're going to pay for energy, for your electricity this year, because, green energy that comes to us for free after building it out. The sun is a fuel for free. But Donald Trump says it doesn't work. The great scientist in chief says it doesn't work. While China is building miles and miles and miles, square miles and square miles in their deserts of solar panels with distribution systems throughout the country, and we are stuck. That's an anti-woke tax. We have allowed an anti-intellect, a childish buffoon, to rule, and in so ruling, to harm us all. And you have to ask all the sycophants that are following him, specifically all these men that like to claim they're macho men. They want to shut down women. They want to put women back in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. All those macho men, they cannot stand up to an old, overweight clown, an old, overweight, childish, mentally childish person. Think about that, people. And these are the men to lead our country? These are the men to lead our country. It is time. It is time. It is time. Speaking about childish, Canada did something very simple that pointed out what's going on here in the United States. They played a video of Reagan. They played a segment of a video of Ronald Reagan stating how taxes implemented incorrectly causes economic destruction. And it's not like we have not seen it before. We saw it in 29. We saw it in every time it's done in the wrong manner. It throws the economy off, and that is a mathematical reason why you absorb all this money out of the economy, out of what would actually have been spent over and over again. And especially now, when you collect these monies and it doesn't stay in America. Hey, we just gave $40 billion or are going to give $40 billion to Argentina, right? That is not in the American economy, because guess what? Argentina is going to use that pop-up to sell soybeans to China and, oh, wait a minute, and maybe sell beef back to the United States. When our cattle farmers just started again making a good solid profit, because they're given that their input costs have been very high. Folks, we have to grow up and understand what's going on. I want to give a big, you remember I tell you, we here at KPFT are not only volunteers, but we are also contributors to keep this station alive. We want to give a big thank you to Jack Van Beber. Jack Van Beber, who is yours truly on the boards right now. And since he's right here in the studio, I'm going to put him on the spot. Jack, thank you very much, and I want a response. How you doing, brother? Thank you for supporting KPFT and Politics Done Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to kick it off this morning.
Well, good. I'm glad. Thank you for kicking it off. And look, folks, if Jack can pull double duty, meaning working the boards and at the same time saying, I'm going to use part of what I make here. And, Jack and I have been out to have some burritos before. This is a hard-working dude that isn't making a hell of a lot of moolah. And he sees the importance of what we're doing here. Many of you that I'm watching on the chat right now see the importance, and I want to give you guys on the chat a big thank you. You guys are stand-up folk, man. But we really need to get to the $500 or more. Actually, I'd like to see more of what our station manager Sandy's been speaking about. So let's throw Sandy into the mix before I go ahead and take a couple of calls. Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto. Also, we should acknowledge Anelia W. in Austin, who made a donation on Arnie Arneson's show this morning. So the first pledge really came in at 5:45 a.m., and that's really wonderful to see. Jack, thank you. Part of the family down in the control room, part of the KPFT family in total. And I can tell you, the whole entirety of the KPFT staff, the voices you hear, the people operating the board, the people mowing the yard, the people cleaning the building from time to time, the people calling lapse donors, the people getting the back office stuff right on Allegiance, that's our fund drive tracking system. All of that is an amazing effort to watch. KPFT is very much alive these days. A lot of people coming and going. We have a small parking lot And sometimes I'll come in and there's no more parking space because there are already too many people in the parking lot because they are there helping to provide what you are hearing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by 1, 2, 3 channels, HD 1, 2, and 3, which, by the way, are easily available on our app or online at kpft.org. Engineer Howard and our manufacturer of our transmitter still struggling to get that FM broadcast capability for HD back up, but they're making progress. My point is, we're very much alive. We're very much a family down here. And if you're listening, you're part of that family as well. What we're looking to do is to pay the bills, to make sure that this vibrant community radio station in the heart of Houston, Texas, and the Museum District continues not just for the next couple of 3 months, which this fund drive guarantees if we're successful, but onward into the future. Democracy, free speech, all of it under attack every day. And we're having these conversations now with this platform. And again, I hope we're having them many, many years into the future. Not about this subject, maybe about happier things, but just having that capability. So won't you join us? Can you do $5 or $10 a month? Join us as a sustainer. A sustainer, well, that one word speaks no louder volume than I can supply. If you join as a sustainer, what you're doing is you're passing this forward to your kids and your grandkids and even maybe your great grandkids in one form or another, where community comes together on airwaves or some media where we can have this common conversation and talk it through. Both sides, all sides, multiple sides, ideas, thoughts, music, news, views, right here on KPFT that you will get no place else. We're near the bottom of the hour. We're about, $300, $400 shy of our goal right now. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And thanks to this audience and all listening that have already donated on this or some of the other morning programs, it's made a tremendous difference, this fund drive. So thank you from all of us. Egberto, back to you.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. Sandy is absolutely right. You guys are KPFT.
There's Sandy.
We are KPFT. Let me tell you, I remember going into, when I joined the KPFT culture, going into the studio, even this new studio, cleaning toilets, sweeping the floors, done all of it, guys. This is what community radio is all about. Pulled wires, run wires, put up smoke alarms, all these things. I can tell you that I've done it. I've seen all the folks in there. Sandy right back. All of us working to keep a community radio station alive. Let's go to Ilan. Ilan, come on in, Ilan. Ilan.
This is Ilan. Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning, brother.
I'm with Policies Start to the Left and a sustainer supporter of both 88.7 and 90.1 FM radio news sources. I've got 2 points to make. The political parties are failing to publicize the need for ranked choice voting or approval voting as methods that would save taxpayers millions of dollars by making nearly all runoff elections unnecessary. A second thing not publicized is the billions of dollars spent on building bombs and rockets. We should be out doing demonstrations against this false and destructive employment of Americans. I mean, who knows where these things are built? So nobody's out there protesting that, but we make more bombs than the rest of the world combined. Alan is with the crowd that's in.
Ilan? We lost you, Ilan. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Anyway, Ilan, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely correct. Yes, it shouldn't take This about to go off the abyss that brought us all out. We should have been all out for all the bombs that the unnecessary bombs that we dropped. I'm with you right there. And yes, you are correct. There is so much that we could do with our tax dollars that we must. And you know what? It's never too late to start. So anyway, thank you so kindly for your call, Alan.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Betty. Come on in, Betty.
Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning, beautiful.
I'm going to do the Alcatel Blue Room, my version of Trump's ballroom. We'll make the Eastern Once Upon a Time. What's next? Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, Rumpelstiltskin, all are Once Upon a Time. Don't take that away. The amazing memory. Trump has two left feet. Anyway, he is just mean. Makes you wonder if he's making the White House his home for the rest of his life. Idiot child. Right now, get started on the right foot. Give 90.1 Alberto. Save your two left feet for dancing tonight. Love y'all.
Love you, Betty. Love you. She always has it written down and ready to say it. Thank you, beautiful. Let's go to Brother Jimmy. By the way, Jimmy is one of our great contributors as well.
The administration is losing credibility. Secretary of Defense Hegseth brought all these generals and from all over the world for his meeting, and there he's talking about facial hair and generals being too fat, a bunch of nonsense like that. And so he is losing credibility. He shouldn't even have that job. He's not qualified for it. And our federal debt jumped up from $37 trillion to $38 trillion in 2 months. The latest figure is $38 trillion. That's going to cost us a lot more. That shows how inefficient the Trump administration is. And he's sending the military all over the country to Portland and Chicago. That's costing a bloody fortune, and it's not wanted or not needed. And he's also saying the East Wing of the White House was not going to be touched, and now he tears it down. The man lies all the time, and I think the people are getting fed up with him, and so is the military.
You know, let me tell you something, Jimmy. You know, we had the big protest on the weekend. And we were prepared for a lot of counter protests because we knew it was going to be large and we thought there was going to be a lot of counter protests. I think it bears true what you're saying, that the people are getting fed up. And there are some people that were so wedded to Trumpism that they can't see themselves coming out and hanging with us because, they're down another ideological whatever, but they're staying home. They're no longer singing the bandwagon anymore, and the polls are showing it. You're absolutely correct, sir. So thank you, Jimmy. And by the way, also thank you for being a great contributor to Politics Done Right as well as KPFT. We need a whole lot of folks like you. All right, brother?
One more thing real quick.
Go ahead.
The most ridiculous thing is now Trump is asking for the Justice Department to pay him $300 million. That's crazy. That's taxpayers giving him money for doing his own job.
But wait, he wants to be paid for having been convicted. He wants to be paid for being a felon, but saved by the Supreme Court and a constitution that forgot to say felons cannot be president. It's amazing. Thank you so kindly, Jimmy. All right, folks, let me tell you, we're still at only one contribution from Jack Van Veva. We are not doing so good. We need support. So please, if you can, give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Remember, $5 a month, $10 a month. A coffee. Think about it. Think about a coffee or two. I know you can do that. So many throw so much of that away already. This is for a good cause, and I guarantee you, you feel good about it. I know how Jack feels. Jack is not only didn't only just gave us that standalone contribution. Jack gives us a contribution every single month as well. So I mean, I think asking. I hate doing this, but we have to keep the station alive. We have to pay the bills. Let's go to Joni. Come on in, Joni.
Roberto.
Good morning, sis.
Regarding woke, and I'm hearing feedback from my own voice. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, we haven't resolved that problem yet. We're working on it, and I keep saying we're working on it, but we'll get it resolved eventually. Thank you, Joni.
Oh, I think it's on my end. Anyway, but what I was going to say was that those who gain from chaos and confusion and ignorance, they're afraid of the population knowing and becoming aware of things like intersections, the connecting point of pollution, poverty, healthcare, inequities, how we treat the planet, and femininity and labor, all that together. Being aware of these things pulls many factions together. Being conscious, and I've been criticized here before for using that word regarding psychological consciousness and confusion with being physically unconscious. Physically unconscious means that you cannot respond. You've been damaged chemically or physically and cannot respond. Psychological unconsciousness simply means unaware of your actions, unaware of your motivations, and you've got a lot of people becoming more conscious of their actions and what they cause, and the intersexuality of everything I spoke of. Woke, I think, came from a modern colloquial pop culture way of saying aware, awake, and yes, conscious. So that's what they're afraid of. Those factions having to do with those subjects coming together would be too powerful against them, because they couldn't make decisions. They would have to use just their weapons, which is what they're working toward anyway.
First of all, Joni, I don't know who could have criticized you for expressing that truity. I don't know who could have criticized you for expressing that truity, because that is so true. There's one thing that I was just waiting for you to say, and that is patriarchy. And I didn't hear that part. I know it's inferred, but the maintenance of the patriarchy is so dominant in everything that you've just stated, because again, the idea that once you get rid of the patriarchy, competition, the true competition in life, the true living up to who you are and your capabilities really come to bear when patriarchy isn't that thing that is stamped on a system that says just because you have that particular organ, you have control. I mean, all of that ties in. You're so right. Go ahead, Johnny.
I don't want the patriarchy and criticizing patriarchy to be confused with man-hating, because it's not the same thing.
It's not.
It can get confused with that, because we need, just like it takes two wings to fly this eagle, it takes two polarities of anything to have a good partnership. It takes the masculine and feminine in all of us to have any good sense. And I've got a whole write-up on this in my journal about how if when you have the masculine is the motor, it's the do something, even if it's wrong, do it. But then you got the feminine who will sit forever by itself and contemplate and collaborate and not ever move. So you have to have both. You have to have a little bit of masculine energy to get it going. You have to have a little bit of feminine energy to find the right direction to move in, like a motor and a rudder.
Agreed. And let me tell you, I think you have to unlearn. First of all, you're so right about not conflating man-hating with patriarchy. And I'm a man, and I don't feel anybody attacking me when they say get rid of the patriarchy. I feel fine with it. I love the idea that everybody will have equal access to success based on what they bring to the table. So absolutely. But hey, I need to do some pitching, my dear sister, and Bruce is also on the line. So Thank you so kindly for calling in. Joni, have a good one, okay? Let's go to Bruce. Come on in, Bruce.
Good morning.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to bring up one point I haven't heard anybody say about how incredibly stupid Pete Hegseth is. I saw a TV program where they said the U.S. is the only nuclear country in the world where the president has the sole ability to launch a strike or counterstrike with the nukes. So Pete Hegseth announces to the whole world when and where he's going to have all the top generals, the president with the nuclear suitcase in one location. Can you imagine if the Korean dictator had the same hypersonic capability as Putin? They could have taken us, cut the head off the snake. You don't put them all in one place, and you sure as heck don't advertise it. It's stupid. But anyway, I'm done.
Thank you so kindly, Bruce. I usually don't like to say the word stupid, but if the shoe fits, let's go. Let's see. Anyway, folks, we are still at one donation, one contribution. Please don't leave us high and dry. Please don't leave us high and dry. Telephone number 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Hit that, select whatever you want, $5 a month, $10 a month. I contribute at $10 a month, above and beyond what we do here. And many of us, as you can see, Jack just gave a healthy contribution. We really need your support. The only person that has given so far is in the house, and that is Jack. I would love if a few more would call. By the way, coffee with Egberto, that can get us there quickly. 2 people buying coffee with Egberto, or hear me, buying Egberto. Stop that! Stop that. That's the wrong word to use. Anybody contributing $250, we can have coffee with Egberto. It's just a way to enhance getting money into our coffers to keep the station running, or $100 for the KPFT Politics and Right t-shirt. And of course, something that I hadn't announced in this whole fund drive: get a brick, a 4x4 brick, $25 a month, or an 8x8 brick, $50 a month, with whatever you can fit on that brick, and it stays a part of the KPFT walkway as long as KPFT exists. Sandy, it's all on you, my dear brother.
Nothing like a little pressure at this hour of the morning, which is 6:42 a.m., folks. Yes, we have one contribution in, which put us toward our goal. For those of you listening, maybe for the first time this morning to KPFT on your way to work, or maybe back from work at this hour, we are listener supported. We've been in that condition our entire existence, which is 55.5 years. And we really do need to hear from our listeners at times like this. We are now hopefully down to 3 times a year and going toward 2 times a year when we do these fund drives to power our radio station. Each and every one of you listening is part of the community. Whether you've given money or not, here you are listening to our community radio station, joining in. A few of you calling in this morning to express your thoughts. A lot of us are very angry right now and want a place to express that anger and maybe talk it through with others, and this is your venue for that. A lot going on in America, a lot going on in Houston. Houston's a great city. Where would Houston be without its community radio station? It would be a little less vibrant, a little less cool, a little less fun to live in. People have moved away, and I get emails and during these fund drives, sometimes comments when people contribute. They're so happy to be able to listen over the net or maybe by our new app. And, they can appreciate taking this element of Houston with them. My point is simply that we have something great, something that resonates. Please support what we're doing here. Please support the idea of First Amendment radio, free speech radio, where we're not going to be restricted through commercial sponsors telling us what we can and cannot do. We've often talked about this in past fund drives, but it's being directly illustrated to you in today's news. College professors, you can't teach that. Broadcasters, you can't have that comedian on late night. We're hearing this. We cannot have our free speech rights curtailed. Imagine many of you out there maybe own a firearm and really trust in and believe in the Second Amendment. How would it be if the government came along to some of you and said, nope, none of that. We're taking all that away too. So free speech, I think, is the First Amendment because it's the most important. It should be at the top of the list. If you value your rights, you value your freedom, you value this community radio station, please show that by making a small donation. A basic membership, just $35. Makes you a voting member of Pacifica. $25 for those economically disadvantaged. We asked $35, but if you can't do it, $25 will do the same. You become a voting member. We have an elected board, which will next year be our national board. Local station boards are being redefined as goodwill, outreach, and fundraising bodies to support their radio station in their signal area. We are one of 5 Pacifica radio stations. When you become that voting member, you truly have a voice with your vote. Folks, 713-526-5738, option 1 is our phone number. We really need to hear from 2 or 3 of you. Maybe 1 or 2 of you could do the $1 a day pledge. And if you're just into this show, maybe you could do a $260 pledge, representing the 5 days a week by the 52 weeks that Egberto does this program here on KPFT. But support. Please support. We cannot do this without you. We are short of our goal this morning, and the clock is ticking. So 713-526-5738, option 1. Support what you love. It's Friday. We're going to have a little bit of rain for 24, 48 hours, and then it's going to turn absolutely stellar in Houston as we slide toward our late summer, early fall weather here on the Gulf Coast. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Today, Friday, the day the World Series kicks off for baseball, the day KPFT may be able to add to the coffers and guarantee its continuance. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Egberto, all I can say is just do it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Look, folks, let me just say this, right? Do you know this is all that I do, you know, in my activism. I'm out there in the field, you know, getting interviews. I'm out there talking to different politicians, talking to other activists, making sure that we can get all of this to you. And also, you know, we have ideas that we brainstorm in different conferences that I go to. And let me tell you, one of the things that has always held back many of the folks, progressives and others, trying to do the right thing, and that has always been finances. Always been finances. You see, the people who control our monies, our economic systems, etc., they have unlimited monies, and that is like a catalyst, right? You start on third base. Again, from the foundation of a country, you start on third base. There is a certain group of folks that will always get maximal economic, financial representation. We have always been those that I call on the good side, at a disadvantage. But most people in this country, most people in the world, are good people. But we are only controlled by how we're reared, what we learn, what information can get to us so that we can make the right decisions. That's the only thing that matters, that controls where we're heading to. And we have been at a disadvantage in communicating. We work to get it out there, but just think about it. a wealthy person can buy a commercial today and throw it on to 3 channels, and they reach millions of people with a lie. Mayana brought a story today with what our government did in maligning a video in order to get a result. And we are going to spend a lot of time now trying to diffuse that video to show that our government lied to us. How do we get that message out here? Mayana brought it here on KPFT. We put it out. Today in the afternoon, I'm going to throw it out on my other radio show. I'm going to throw it up onto Daily Kos, Op-Ed News. I'm going to make sure that it's known to by Common Dreams, and we are going to create an infrastructure of information on that subject to let people understand the kind of shenanigans that are happening. But we are doing that on a very low budget. We are doing it here. Many times we complain and we say, how could that happen? We are in a frantic panic right now with our protests because of what's going on. But just imagine if Kamala Harris had paid or supported the right sources of information, the one that people trust. Just suppose somebody had given a bit more to get a larger message out to the barrios, the ghettos, and Appalachia. Just suppose we had been able to do that. How many more people would, not necessarily all, but how many other people would have gotten the message and say, yep, they're not the same. I'll get off the couch. I'll go vote. And that is sort of what I'm trying to put on you right now with supporting a station like KPFT, and not only KPFT, but I am here at KPFT right now that's telling you this. But on other rags that are trying to do the right thing, you guys that are listening to me right now, you guys are in the know. You all already know. I am talking to the choir for the most part. There may be a couple of truck drivers and others that are listening to me at the first time or listening to another program here at KPFT for the first time and saying, I've just learned something and become new. And they are able to do that and hear that because of you. Because those in the know that are listening to me right now, they are the ones that were able to say, I am going to be a part of this stuff to make sure that trucker that normally is listening to AM radio, right-wing FM radio, but because he stumbled on what we're doing and we just said something that tickled his fancy. Maybe we spoke a little bit about what AI is going to be doing to trucking and what should be the result. And that hits him because he's a trucker. Maybe it's because Ilan called and talked about bombs, and if we replace bombs with XYZ, that trucker would have insurance. Just maybe we hit just enough of the people the right time because we are here, because we are present. Porque estamos aquí, dando la información que la gente necesita because we're here. So I ask kindly, brothers and sisters, those of you who would go to a Starbucks and it means nothing to you to give corporate America $5, and you do it every day, and sometime more than once a day. For those of you that will go and pay your cable bill, $90, $100, $300 on cable. That's not really feeding your mind, but you get the comic relief or the relief of indulging into something else, right? And you say to yourself, it feels good. Why not do a little 5 or 10 or 15 or $20 a month to a place that is really out there trying to make a difference and do what really has to be done? None of us here are going to be rich on your donations. None of us here are going to be spending up your donations. Many of you are going to churches where I saw a video on TikTok. Folks going to church and the lady gave her last few $100 to the pastor, and he slapped her and he said, and he didn't slap her, I verbally slapped her and said, that's not what I asked for. I asked for twice that, and you're only giving me that, as if it demanding that she gives him. All we do here is ask those who are able to volunteer. those who have the wherewithal to do so, to do it. I tell you something. For those, I on my newsletter, you guys, for those of you who receive the newsletter, the newsletters are free, and folks can give donations and that stuff. And I always run into the problem of saying, is being informed based on your income level. It should never be. It should never be being informed relative to your economic level. But I also believe in the context of being your brothers and sisters' keeper. If I can do it and you can't, I willingly do it to ensure that you also are a part. And that is how I was reared. That is a part of many of our beings, and that is why we do what we do. I want to give a big thank you to Dana. Dana, thank you so kindly out of Wharton, Texas. And a big thank you to Kevin as well, out of Dayton, Texas. Hey, Dayton is right up the road from me on 1960, right? Thank you for listening. Thank you so kindly for listening. We can't do this without you. Let me throw it to Johnny just before the station break, and then I'll go on to Sandy before we close out. Johnny, come on in, brother.
I'm imagining people who have the wherewithal and the time to go to Starbucks every weekday throughout the whole month, who can easily spend $200 a month at Starbucks. They could be just as satisfied if they cut that in half to $100 a month. Because that's just like one coffee a day. You think about how wired you are. And I worry about your cardiac health. You and Sadie and everybody gave you for all these coffees you have people buying you. Some sent whole milk with some nice warm donuts. To that equivalent ABFT. By the way, that yin-yang energy that Joni was talking about, the problem's not with women. It's with some guys. That's why we see the enrollment in colleges is mostly women now. Women are the ones that always pick up the slack when the guy falls short, either at work or at home or both. It's always the women who can pull out the yin-yang energy. It's the guys who are the problem.
I need to give another big kudos to women. Hey, Johnny.
Donald Trump's family, they got a big problem with the yin-yang energy. He's practically brain dead.
Johnny,
Donald. Let's scrape him off and put somebody else in there.
Joni was talking, and I had told Joni about, I'm surprised she didn't use the patriarchy. And one of the things that a lot of folks don't remember, women are very, very, you take a look at how countries that are run by women are doing. And, they've learned all the mistakes that the patriarchy has created, and that's why you see what you see. I mean, even in Brazil, even though she got a hard time, Dilma got a hard time in Brazil. The former president of Argentina got a hard time because they bucked the system. But anyway, thank you, Johnny. I got to do a station ID and go back to Sandy, and I want to thank those that are given, and we still need more. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Now, folks, I know more of you can give us one of your Starbucks or two of your Starbucks coffees. Instead of doing 40 coffees a month, can you give us two of those 40 coffees? It's 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Or you can go to kpft.org, select whatever you can to donate, and then please remember to select Politics Done Right as a program you support. I'm going to throw it to Sandy now, which will then take us to the station break.
Thank you, Egberto, and thanks to Dana and Kevin for stepping up, both of which who joined us as sustainers. So thank you for acknowledging the future. When you join as a sustainer, that's exactly what you're doing. You're paying it forward for the future. And we owe our children, our grandchildren, our friends, our neighbors, that future, that dialogue, that platform. So thank you for acknowledging that and joining as a sustainer. There's room for you. At this point, we're maybe a couple of $100 shy of our goal this morning. And, well, we just had someone else pledge. I'm going to let Egberto thank that person in a second as soon as I finish. Thank you. Now we're just $100 away from our goal or so. Thank you for these pledges this morning. It makes a big difference. We need to hear from everybody. Indeed, if everybody listening right now at this early hour were to pledge just $10 a month, this fund drive would likely be over. That's the way it works. There's enough of you out there to power that right now, but not everybody can, and more importantly, not everybody will. Nope, I'm not going to give money to that station. I'm listening to it, but heck, I'm not giving money to those libs. I'm not giving money to those people having this dialogue, anti-woke. I'm not giving money. Those people out there that are listening and not giving, maybe muttering to themselves about what we're doing, you're the very people that should be giving the money to this station. You're the ones that should be powering this station. You can join in on this conversation and make your side of whatever you consider to be an argument here known. Common sense must rule eventually. The bold lies being told by Trump. I saw an interview, and the interviewer asked Trump, you've told the American public, and he cited so many hundreds or thousands of lies during your presidency. Which one is your favorite lie? And Trump turned to the reporter and said, I don't lie. And the reporter responded by saying, that's my favorite lie as well. Somewhere along the line, more of us have to start realizing the truth must be told, and it must be told out on public airwaves. We need a counterweight. We need a balance to all this madness, and KPFT can be that counterweight. We have a bunch of folks that have come in as volunteers, and you're starting to hear these 2-minute news strips. Well, we're going to
Sandy Station ID.
We'll have something good on Election Day, and be able to bring a news group back to KPFT in some way, shape, or form. But that's the future. The present is now, and we need to fund now to get to the future. 713-526-5738, option 1. Join Dana, Kevin, Jack, and Amelia, and who else, Egberto?
And we have Ronald. Thank you so kindly, Ronald, for your contribution out of Rosharon, Texas. So we are all over the Houston metropolitan area today, Sandy. What do you think about that?
Exactly. All over Houston, exactly. We've heard from way southwest down 59. We've heard from way east down out 90, and now we've heard down toward 288, Rosharon. Folks, we reach everywhere with this signal, 100,000 watt signal with the internet blaring worldwide on 3 channels. This is a powerful tool, powerful tool. Will you not join us? Will you not support what we need most right now? KPFT, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. And I'm talking to you that have never, ever, ever pledged before. Please become the next new member. Egberto, you got a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get on to Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Just to be clear, this is KPFT Houston. Anyway, folks, thank you so kindly for being here. Let me go ahead and give one of my minutes to the great folks in the studio. Let's close this baby out. Folks, you can still call 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, select donate button, and please remember to say this is this is not for, but in the name of politics done right. Studio.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, the people who I had a critic against the No Kings March because they didn't ask for something. But I just wanted to say that it's kind of important that people were just saying that we're not happy with the leadership, and definitely the next time that people protest, we need to start naming things that we want and demand that.
Mayana, you know something? I wrote an article on that last night, and it's actually at my Egberto Willis. I'm sorry. It's at politicsandright.com/newsletter, where I spoke about the ask. And thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. That's an important concept. Jack.
Yes, Joni. Your message was so beautiful. I was wondering if you were single.
Oh my God! Can you believe that? you made my day, Jack. You made my day. Hey, anyway, to the audience, we got to close this baby down. I love you all. Thank you for supporting this program. Thank you for supporting this station. We simply cannot do it without you. And you constantly come through for us for the last 55 years. Let's keep coming through. Thank you. I love you. The rest of the program is at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. You can email me directly at kpft@politicsdoneright.com. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
This is KPFT Houston, and we're going